The opinions expressed in this show belong to the person expressing them. They do not purport to reflect the opinions or views of Rancher or any other entity.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of Coffee and Cloud Native. My name is Adrian Goins. Where's that? It's over there. And I'm super excited to be with you today here on the show. Happy Thanksgiving if you're in the Americas, well, in the North Americas, and happy Thursday if you're anywhere else. The purpose of this show is to share with you news and interesting content related to Kubernetes and Cloud Native and to build a community of people who are interested in using technology to live a better life. If you're watching live, consider following or subscribing to the channel. And if you're watching a replay, give the video a thumbs up so the YouTube algorithm shares it with other people. In fact, if you're watching live on YouTube, give it a thumbs up too, please. Join the free community site and the Discord server. I'll fire those up so they scroll across the bottom of the screen. Live chat happens in Discord with a bot that relays between YouTube and Twitch, so come hang out with us either during the show or after, and as you'll see in a moment, the chat is where all the madness happens, and the conversation continues after the show ends. So let's take a moment and say hello to some people that we have in the chat today. Scrolling. Oh my gosh, like, people show up a half an hour before the show, and it's just like chatter. Who do we got? Good morning, Nuno, Wifebot, Frank, Wojtek, cześć. Clint, hello. Clint was going to sleep in today, but forgot to turn off his alarm. So I was like, well, since he can't sleep, might as well watch the show. Thanks for hanging out. Restream Bot, good to see you. Chrysalis. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun. Did I already say Clint? Clint, again. We were discussing whether I should actually work on the show today because I have today off, or if I should play Elite Dangerous. If you have an opinion on that, come to the live chat and let us know. Hey, Mac. Okay. We have some stuff to do today. So, first of all, if I didn't say hello to you and you're in the chat, hello! But we've got a lot of stuff to do. Today is, of course, the hot seat. Ellybot is going to run a 5-minute giveaway in the live chat channel on Discord. I will call that winner over Discord and bring them onto the show to do the A/B test with me right here, right now, today. It's called the hot seat because if you win, you have no idea what Trufflebot is going to show us. And remember, I also have basically no idea. There are 15 items, they get shuffled randomly, and then Trufflebot just sends them out. So I will present content to you and everyone else, and then we'll spend a few seconds talking about it before moving on to the next item. Don't be alarmed if you win and you have nothing to say. That's totally fine. This is just, come on the show. We'll talk about some stuff. I'll say, what do you think? And, you can be like, I don't know, or I don't care, or gosh, this is really scary, or say whatever you want, because it's the internet and it doesn't matter. So let me kick off that giveaway. All right, that's in the live chat channel. And so if you want to join the hot seat, just click the little ta-da icon there. And we'll get you started. While we're waiting for that to continue, let's talk about a little bit of news. Mystery Member Mastery is something that I started last week because all of us have other skill sets besides doing all this Kubernetes cloud native technology nonsense. And I'm looking for ways to get people engaged in the community around other stuff because it's here for all of you. And I want you guys to hang out with each other. So last week, I roped JVB into this and gave some clues about his skill set. It would use computer duster spray, hydrogen peroxide, white chalk, vinegar, and peanut butter. And we had some guesses. Perhaps coin cleaning, which is a really great guess. That was from Mac. Retrobrighting. That was from Chrysalis. Mike says, does he cook a hair wax to shave his dog? That's also probably a good guess, but no. Does he work for Confuse-A-Cat? That came from Wifebot. Mac thought maybe the coolest science displays for kids, and then told us a wonderful joke, which you can go and read in the community site, or you can squint and read it right there. JVB has inherited from his mother and his grandmother a bit of an obsession with using interesting household items to clean really difficult stains. So Mac was very close. It was Mac with the with the coin cleaning. You were very close, but it's actually more than coins. And one of the examples that he gave me was he actually used computer duster spray to freeze taffy that was stuck in carpet fibers so that once it was frozen, he could break it up and pull it out. When I put together this list of stuff, he said, oh, peanut butter also works really good for taffy, but then you have to work on getting the oils out afterwards because that gets in the carpet. So white chalk is good for cleaning oil. Hydrogen peroxide and vinegar are good for cleaning stuff or for making things explode because that's also fun. Make volcanoes, remember those? Peanut butter for, I don't remember what peanut butter was for. Not for oils, but for something else. And then, of course, computer duster spray. So we'll have another one of these up later on today. I'll just actually put it up as a question. I don't have anybody who has volunteered with a skill set. So if you have a cool or interesting, all of us do. So ping me on Discord. Otherwise, I'm just going to randomly grab somebody and be like, tell me what you can do. Next up in the news, we have nothing else in the news. So how much more time do we have on this giveaway? Let me pin this thing. We have 2 minutes and 17 seconds. Ooh, we have some people who have joined and want to win. All right, that's pinned. So if you join now, you can get to it from the little pin icon up at the top, and then you can jump to the thing. We got 2 minutes. I'm just going to go ahead and get started with the A/B test. The collector bots gathered candidates for the show, and Troublebot has scored them from 1 to 5 coffees, corresponding to a 75 to 100% probability of being interesting content. He's going to post them one at a time to the A/B test channel on Discord, which I'm sorry if you're watching on YouTube and Twitch that doesn't get relayed. Just join Discord. You can do it on a web browser. It's great. Anyway, he's going to throw them out there. I'll load them up. Anyone watching live can rate them, and then the final scores are shown when we move to the next item. The total rating for all items shown on the show is used to rate the show itself, and in the future, I'll use those votes to refine the machine learning model that selects content for me every single night. So we will get started with the first item of today. The first item of today is actually the third item in a 4-post series, and the collector bots yesterday managed to pull the third item and the first item, which I thought was interesting. We may get the first item later, but in case we don't, it will go out in, well, it'll go out in the tweets later on today. Sorry, actually, today's show's tweets go out tomorrow, so you'll see it. It'll probably show up later. It'll be like, yay, number 1 comes after number 3. This is a 4-part series about using Microsoft Arc and how to use it as a control plane for managing services. This is an Azure service, and it looks like so you get this. You can actually go directly to part 1 and part 2, which came out 2 weeks ago. Interesting. Whatever. I don't know how the collector bots work. I just told them to go collect stuff. Azure Arc. I know nothing about Azure. Nothing. Not a thing. I've tried to use it. It's so different from AWS that I was like, I'm just not going to do this. I'm going to go back to AWS. And I tried to do the same thing with Google's cloud platform, and I'm like, bah. Plus, I usually get to the part where I decide I want a load balancer from GCP, and I'm like, wow, really? Like, you want me to give a kidney for a load balancer? It just seems prohibitively expensive. But Azure Arc, oh, we have a winner. Okay, I will look at the winner after I finish this article. Azure Arc is something that's come up actually with Rancher. My first thought when I looked at it was, hey, is this not competitive with Rancher? Rancher, Azure, but it's not. You can use Arc. Okay, so Rancher had a blog back in May about doing GitOps with Azure Arc and Rancher, which was the first place that I found this. This is a tutorial about setting up Kubernetes clusters in Azure Arc and then actually configuring GitOps to do GitOpsy stuff with your Kubernetes clusters. This and the other articles in the series are extremely detailed. I would be totally confident sitting down with this and actually going through it and getting a good hands-on understanding of Azure Arc, even though I know nothing about the platform. I am genuinely surprised to find that Azure is really popular in South America. Really popular, way more popular than AWS. I don't know why that is. But yeah, they've definitely got a foothold down here. I don't know how it is in other regions. maybe the guys who are in the chat from South Africa can tell us, like, do you guys favor AWS, Azure, GCP? Do you have a local provider that you use? Let us know. So this is cool. This will be up later along with the others, and of course you can just get to the others directly from this link at the top. And now let's jump back over and see who we get to drag in. Remember, there's a delay of about 10 seconds between when I talk and the camera and it shows up over there and stuff. So Mac wants to know, is it because of Microsoft is entrenched in businesses? I don't think that's actually why Azure is so prevalent in South America, though certainly Microsoft did do a whole bunch of like, here's like 10,000 free Windows licenses. But they did that everywhere. Why did it take down here? Loyalty? Cultural? I don't know. Anyway, let's, who's our winner? What am I doing here? Oh, I'm in the wrong channel. I'm like, why is there not a pinned message? Who won? That's awesome! Yesterday, for continuous inspiration, I introduced you all to Samuel Dan. Samuel Dan just won the hot seat for today. That's amazing. Okay, so Samuel, I'm going to call you on Discord. So it's going to ring somewhere, and you're going to have to answer it. Okay. It's ringing, I think. Oh, something answered. I'm always concerned that the audio doesn't work, but I think it will. Maybe. It looks like he's saying something, but I can't hear him. Technology. All right, I totally tested my audio before this, and it was totally working. Oh, and he doesn't hear me either. Interesting and strange. Sam, look down at the bottom left corner of the panel. Make sure that next to your name, the microphone and the headphones don't have a big X over them. It's gonna take him 10 seconds to hear that. I didn't realize Alex Trebek died from Jeopardy. That's sad. Yeah, he says he's unmuted. Let me check. What's my mic set to? Mic is set to... Oh, that's interesting. Okay, hold on. Sorry, everybody. Let's try that. Can you hear me now? Oh, that's output device. That's not going to work. Output device has to go to that. Voice settings. Oh, man, come on. Chris microphone is set to... Yeah, so I'm actually sending you audio. Yeah, so he can't hear. He sees that I'm talking. This is the same thing here. I'm getting Discord sounds in here. All right, dude. I'm going to keep the call up. Go to the Discord settings, check your audio, your voice and video settings, make sure that it's actually on the microphone and the speaker, and then click the Let's Check button, and it should move the little thing when you talk, and then you should hear yourself back. I'm going to do another A/B test, and then I'm going to come back to you. I have you muted, so if you do come on, I'll hear you in my ear, but they won't hear you on the show. Let's move on, and then we're going to come back to you. Maybe I should do this over Zoom. Now I gotta go back over here. Gotta go back to the A/B test. I gotta vote on this Azure Arc article. And we're gonna move on to the next thing. Oh, yeah. I bet a lot of you aren't gonna like this, but I think it's actually pretty cool. Some of you, many of you, in fact, probably all of you, no, many of you have no idea that I actually built a large cryptocurrency mining facility for somebody down here in Chile in 2018. Unfortunately, that facility was built at the same time that the market tanked, and that the Asian manufacturers of the big miners dumped their stock because they had new chipsets that were 7 nanometer that were much faster. So all of us who were not manufacturing crypto miners got stuff that couldn't compete with the complexity, and holy cow, it's really expensive to do that. So that whole facility died, and but I built it, and it was really cool. I'm not a crypto nerd, but I was brought into that project because I have experience building data centers, and it's basically just a big data center. You need low latency, you need power management, and PDUs, and remote management, and all that stuff. So I built that all for this guy. I am, however, interested in blockchain because I think blockchain is some pretty neat technology, independent of cryptocurrencies. There's a lot of stuff you can do with blockchain. And you guys have heard me talk about, maybe health records. Like, will we have our own personal blockchains where we can decide who has access to stuff and set up smart contracts and things so that we can share personal information with Facebook, for example. And then when we want to leave Facebook, we just shut that off and they don't have access to it anymore. It's a big dream. This is cool because if you're familiar with how blockchains work, there's this whole thing about confirming transactions, which is why they're inefficient and why they have very low transaction per second rates. Well, there's a new theory here called DAG, which is a horrible, what is this called? It has a really terrible name. Where was it? Okay, well, whatever. It has a terrible name that now I suddenly can't find over here. The idea behind a DAG is that in order for me to submit a transaction to the network, I have to confirm 2 transactions, which takes microseconds, uses 0 electricity, and eliminates 100% of mining, which is just transaction confirming for a network for profit, eliminates miner fees, eliminates the huge power consumption. I know I already said that. And accelerates the transactions per second, which actually needs to happen to make blockchain a viable technology for use in lots of different places. So the article itself isn't all that interesting other than the explanation of the DAG model, which I really wish I could find the name from. Anyway, I thought this was cool. I really do hope, cryptocurrencies, whatever, who cares? I really do hope that we see more adoption of blockchain style stuff because I think that the immutability of it really has a place in the world. Hey, most of you guys liked it. That's cool. All right, let's jump back over here to... All right, so Sam says his audio works, but we still can't hear each other. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to punt this to tomorrow, but we're still going to do this with, no, I said Dan, sorry, Samuel Dan. We're still going to do this with Samuel Dan tomorrow, but Samuel, at the end of the show, we're going to figure out this audio stuff, you and me, and then that way we'll just bring you on the show tomorrow and it will work. All right. So please don't go anywhere at the end of the show. Sorry, it didn't work right now. Everybody, big round of applause for Samuel Dan and big round of punching in the face for the internet and all of this complex technology. We'll figure it out. All right. So moving on. The hot seat to be continued tomorrow. I'm going to take this thing out of my ear then. It wouldn't surprise me if it was Discord. Making noise. Okay. On with the show. Really, wow, we wasted a lot of time on that. Okay, I'm just gonna burn through some of the next things that we have in the A/B test. Next up, laser-based hacking. Holy cow. This is a really cool article. So these researchers figured out a while ago that they could point a laser at the microphone on an Amazon Echo, and through modulating the laser frequency, they could have the microphone detect voice and perform actions. Mind-blowing. They still don't know It's a signal injection attack. They still don't know why this works. They were able to do it from 360 feet away. You can actually see in their picture here, they were in one building over here on the right, and then you can actually see the middle picture is the view from that building. So more than 300 feet away. It's 100 meters. Well, 330 feet is 100 meters. Whatever. Semantics. And they've expanded this and determined that they can do this to all sorts of things and potentially can even do it to smart locks, home switches, cars, basically anything that will respond to voice, which is terrifying. They will have this as a presentation at Black Hat Europe on December 10th, which I considered going to, but I probably won't be able to because, whatever. Even though it's virtual. It's virtual. So if you've ever wanted to go to Black Hat, dude, this is the year. Go. It's virtual. Really scary. There's some things that you could do for remediating this or preventing it. Certainly you can burn out the microphones, but then you can't say, Alexa or whatever. I don't have any of these devices in my house because I think that they're terrifying. Really interesting stuff, really scary. If you have one of these things in your house, dude, you got a microphone for the man in there. And you don't even know who the man is. The man can be anybody. The man is everybody. You got a microphone in the house. Be careful. How many of you use Terraform? Whoa. I just opened that inside of Discord. I didn't mean to do that. How many of you use Terraform? I already asked that. A Cloud Guru has a training course on Terraform. And they released this really nice Terraform cheat sheet. Can I get this as just a standalone? Oh my god, that's really huge. Terraform cheat sheet. Terraform, like all skills, is a perishable skill. If you don't use it regularly, then you're not going to make all of the associations that have you retain the information. And so you'll come back 6 months later or 3 months later and you're like, oh man, how do I do that? Whatever. For that, cheat sheets are a lifesaver. This is a cheat sheet for Terraform that gives you lots of basic commands and how to use them and the syntax and what it does. Print this out, staple it on your wall, highlight it, do something with it. And then, of course, if you are interested in learning more about Terraform, consider, I got a link here, consider, they have a course. It's linked somewhere here. We have in-depth courses on Terraform from deploying to AWS with Terraform to deploying resources to GCP and using Terraform to create infrastructure in Azure. So if you're interested in learning more about Terraform, considering taking a course from a cloud guru and expanding your knowledge. I don't know why this is taking so long to load. Moving on. This one's cool too. Da 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 da. Why didn't it load? Load! Staccato has been on the show a bunch of times. They've got a bunch of really cool tools. A bunch of lotta. I'm gonna stick with that. I'm gonna own that. They got a bunch of lotta, and you should go look. This is a Slack operator. I can file this in the probably not useful except when it is category. Basically, if you want to create Slack channels for Alert Manager, well, now you can do it from inside of Kubernetes. Got a controller, it's got a custom resource, create a secret with your API token, blam, create a channel for your stuff. This is one of those things that clearly somebody needed, and they were like, you know what? I'm just going to make a tool that does it, because that's just cool. Thank you, Staccato. I love having your stuff show up in the list of content that the collector bots find. What did Trufflebot rate this? Hey, Trufflebot even rated it 3 coffees. So not only are you cool, my bot thinks you're cool. Next up. Okay, good. I'm glad this came up. You've probably noticed that I have more stuff coming up on the show that's outside of just Kubernetes and cloud native. You're seeing more things on IoT, more things on development, more things on like blockchain, for example. What? Oh, it closed out. Apparently I was still in a call with Sam Dan, and Discord just punched me in the face. Okay. The entire city of Glasgow was lit with LoRaWAN IoT gateways, which each of these gateways can communicate with hundreds of sensors, and they lit the whole city. And they're making this available for businesses to use. First of all, any business who's doing anything related to COVID-19 gets access to it for free. So you can imagine like the kinds of sensor things that you might have around for or communication. And LoRaWAN is super low power, long range, but low bit rates. We're not talking like 5G data transfer. Nobody's streaming Netflix over this. But for sensors, it's extremely useful. Shipwreck is a big fan of LoRaWAN. If you have LoRaWAN questions, go bother him. You're welcome, Shipwreck, because he's my go-to source for LoRaWAN stuff. I don't have any of this deployed. This is an article about how Boston Networks lit the entire city of Glasgow, and I think they also lit Edinburgh. Yeah, they have 100% LoRaWAN coverage in Glasgow and Edinburgh, and then wide area coverage across the Scottish borders, Western Isles, Argyll and Bute, areas of Stirlingshire, Perthshire, Inverclyde. I'm sorry if I'm butchering these names. If you're from Scotland, you understand that you guys spell stuff differently than how it's pronounced. East Ayrshire, Aberdeen, and Dundee. This is going to be combined with another article that's not going to make it on the show today, so look for it in the tweets tomorrow. About... Oh, dude, I just totally lost it. About... Oh! There's another article that's totally related to this. It's the end of the show. I'm like, my brain, I'm getting flooded with cortisol now as I'm like, crap, my audio didn't work today. Anyway, this was related to something else. So watch the tweets tomorrow, and for those of you who are in the community site, I'll actually pull out whatever that other article was, and I'll post it on Discord so that I don't look like a total retard. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing on the show. I think it's pretty cool. There are obvious privacy, blah, blah, blah things and whatnot. We need to get solutions for those because this is coming. You're going to see with 5G and LoRaWAN and all the other technologies and IoT this massive explosion of things that record data. And it was a time series database called Warp 10. That's what it was. It's a time series database called Warp 10 that you're like, oh, whatever, another TSDB. But they include a separate field for geopoints. So not only is it the what, but it's the where in 3 dimensions, latitude, longitude, and elevation, which makes total sense if you're using a TSDB for sensor data on things that are moving. So it's not just what happened, it's where was it when it happened. Warp 10 is a little bit mind-blowing, but so anyway, that'll be in the links. I'll post a link to that in the live chat so you guys can go look at it, although now you can probably just go Google for it. Anyway, we got to move on. I'm going to score this, and we're going to finish, and then we're going to go to Tool of the Day, which is also ridiculous. Today's show had an average rating of 4 coffees. Nice. Good job, Trufflebot. Good job, CollectorBots. That takes us to... Can't find my button. Today's tool of the day is an interesting tool called Docker Lock. We all know that you should not run images with a tag of latest, and that you also don't control what the upstream image people do. So it might be that somebody's upstream image or something that your app depends on is running latest, or even that they could reuse tags, and you don't know what that means. You can think about that from the position of maybe it's just, bad CI/CD, or maybe it's actual malware. Maybe somebody compromised something and just pushed it back up with the same tag so that people's stuff refreshes. Well, Docker Lock takes the hash of the container image and stores it locally. And then you can just run Docker Lock. So you can generate the lock. You see here in the little Giphy, and it's generating a lock of all of the stuff. Then you can run Docker Lock verify to verify that the hashes haven't changed. That either just exits 0, meaning nothing, or if it's changed, it tells you that it has changed, even if it used the same tag. So now and then of course you can just update the locks. So now you can be confident that the upstream images that you built with are the same, or that the upstream images have changed and you need to rebuild, or that they haven't changed. Whatever, you get visibility and insight into what's happening outside of your control. This, genius. Sorry you can't vote on it. It's one of the things I might work on this weekend. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, Docker lock. We got to get out of here. We're over time. It's madness. It's madness. It's Thanksgiving, and there's a video game waiting for me. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Links to everything that I talk about on the show go up in the free community site at community.cncn.io. Come back tomorrow where we will have the hot seat part 2, where it actually works. Come join us in the chat. Come join us in the community site. It's madness. It's madness. Community members, of course, get early access to the video replay and other exclusive content, and it's free to join, and it's totally crazy. If you have something you'd like for me to consider for the show, post it in the community site, mention me in the post, or ping me on Discord or Twitter. Have a great day, everyone. If you are on holiday in the United States and you watched anyway, thank you for getting up early and watching, or for watching the replay later. Have a safe Thanksgiving. Everybody else, stay safe, stay caffeinative. I'll see you in the next show.